Gosh, what an absolutely
That's
massive
why we
play to
all
start the
play.
game.
Sit
Is he
down.
going to get the
We're
one
the
shot? He
same
gets the
level.
one-hit KO!
What it is, all you Pokemon peeps. This is Pokemon Feet, Pokemon facts, Easter eggs, and trivia. Alright, anyway, let's get started.
Episode 12 of Pokemon Feet, get hyped. Welcome back to Season 2, everybody. Sadly, there's no Mewtwo fact for today. However, that doesn't mean I couldn't dig something up on Pokemon the first movie, to keep the tradition alive. Remember that heartbreaking scene in which Pikachu is repeatedly shocking Ash to try to bring him back to life? Well, in the Japanese version, the camera pans to Misty and she whispers, "Pikachu," whereas in the English version, she could be heard saying, "Please, no," instead.
Please, no.
But what's actually pretty interesting is the fact that the English dubbers tested many alternative phrases for Misty's piece of dialogue here. One of the more interesting ones was replacing her "please no" with "my bike." Lickitung was a Pokemon without an evolution from Generation 1 all the way until Diamond and Pearl, when Licky was finally introduced. That being said, according to the Pokedex, Licky belongs to a group of Pokemon which lacks a tail, despite having a clearly visible one itself. Other Pokemon in this group include anything from Registeel to Snorlax and even Venonat, Whimsicott, Gothitelle, or Conkeldurr. Literally, there are over 100 Pokemon in this group, and none of them, except Licky, have a tail. Furthermore, Licky might seem like it has a pretty weird name, but really it stems from the way it was named in Japanese. The Japanese name for Licky is translated as Barrow Belt. This name's origin may be a combination of the Japanese word baro, which means tongue, bero, which is a Japanese onomatopoeia for licking, and beroto, which is used in Japanese for the action of licking or sticking one's tongue out. Oh man, NPC intelligence has come a long way over the years. Back in Generation 1, if the NPC's Pokemon had a move that's type was super effective against your Pokemon, they would heavily favor using it over any of their other moves. That may not seem that cool at first, but this can totally be exploited in certain situations throughout the game. For example, Lance's Dragonite knows the move Agility. Agility's typing is Psychic, and none of the other moves Lance's Dragonite has super affects Poison-type Pokemon. So, if you were to bring, say, a level 5 Zubat against Lance's Dragonite, all Lance would do is use Agility over and over and over again. And since the NPC's Pokemon never ran out of PP, you could sit there with your Zubat, Toxic the Dragonite, and chalk up a win for non-artificial intelligence. Go us! Arceus' Pokedex info says that it shaped the universe with its 1,000 arms, yet it can't learn any moves involving punches or hands. Maybe all of those 1,000 arms have no hands attached to them? Then again, have you ever tried sculpting anything with just your forearms? And while we're on the topic of punches, according to its Pokedex entry, Machamp can throw 1,000 punches in 2 seconds. Yet its base speed stat is 55, putting it in the bottom 50% of all Pokemon speed-wise. If you've ever watched the first season of the anime series of Pokemon, you may have mixed feelings on whether Misty liked Ash, and perhaps even vice versa. There are a number of occasions that hinted one way or the other, but the topic is still heatedly debated. Well, in case you're curious, in the Japanese version of the anime, Misty is shown having even more instances of displaying genuine romantic feelings for Ash, which were edited out of the English dub altogether. And that's not all. The anime, both in the original Japanese version and the English dub, are still censored versions of what actually goes down relationship-wise between these two in the manga. This is literally a picture of Misty throwing a Shelter at Ash after he was caught constantly staring at her in her swimsuit in the Electric Tale of Pikachu manga. Did you notice that Lucas and Dawn's platinum artwork shows them holding repeat balls? Out of any kind of Pokeball they could be showing off, why would they be holding repeat balls of all things? Well, because it's a pun on the fact that Platinum was a repeat of Diamond and Pearl. Clever, Game Freak. Clever. Speaking of Diamond and Pearl, it's actually the first game where capturing all of the different types of Unknown unlocks something. Albeit it's mostly just a cave that allows you to catch the other two Unknown you don't already own, the question mark and exclamation mark ones, and a rare candy. Worth. Remember storming Team Rocket's warehouse in Fire Red and Leaf Green? Of course you do. Well, the two passwords that you need to collect in order to continue on in the base are, believe it or not, palindromes. These were Goldeen Need Log and Yes Nah Chansey. This whole time, I always thought they were just gibberish. Guess that shows how smart I am. Now that you mention it, I don't think we've had a sprite fact yet. Charmander, back in Generation 1, had spikes on its back. Uh-oh, I feel a transition coming on. Did you know that Croconaw also has spikes on its body? But in Gold and Silver, this Pokemon's head spike was flat for some reason. And while we're talking about the Gnaw, did you notice that the yellow pattern on Croconaw was flipped horizontally between the 2nd and 3rd generation games? This poor guy had to face 2 edits leaving Johto alone. And finally, to finish up the 2nd episode of Season 2 of Pokemon Feet, I'm going to talk about my man Brock here for a second. Remember how Ash randomly has 30 Tauros in the anime? Well, Brock actually caught one of those Tauros in the infamously banned Safari Zone episode. But since this episode was indeed later banned from airing due to the guns depicted in it, Brock's Tauros became one of Ash's 30 and was never attributed to him again. That being said, despite all of these Tauros having been caught in green Safari Balls, they all have regular Pokeballs when Ash calls them out into battle in future episodes. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to leave a like or even a comment. Both of those are pretty amazing. And if you really liked what you saw and you think you could put up with me again, maybe even hit that subscribe button. Either way, thanks so much for watching, and see you guys next time on Pokemon Feet.
Who's that Pokemon?
Foot.
Apom!
Foot.